Our church is now in its 8th year of life, and when we started, we had some very good friends of mine who were extremely generous in wanting us to get this church started. And unfortunately, several of those people passed away in the first 4 or 5 years of our church's existence. And though we had grown to the point that we bought adjacent properties to try to expand classroom and office space, we realized that we simply could not afford to sustain that. And so this past year has been a frightening time for our church, and particularly for me, wondering if we were going to make it. But we have in the last year, been successful in selling the house adjacent to our property, which lowers our overhead, makes it easier for us to survive. But we also reached out to our online audience to ask them to begin to support us. Most of them go to our website, www.spfccc.org, and donate on the donate button there. But several of them send checks to us through the mail. And opening the mail this week, I just find it so encouraging to see how broad our support is nationally. That my friend Calvin sent us $50 from Louisiana this week, and Catherine, who lives in North Carolina, who I met at a coffee shop while I was there for a funeral, sent $40, and Lance in Beaverton, Oregon, sent $15. Brian in Evansville, Indiana, sent $15. Charles, who lives in Oklahoma City, sent $30. George sent $150 from South Carolina. Thomas from Louisiana sent $10. Paul from Longmont, Colorado, sent over $500. Rebecca, who lives in Maryland, sent $10. Barbara, who lives in Delaware, sent $25. James, who lives in South Carolina, sent $25. I'm just aware that we have a global audience now who wants us to survive. So we've become a hybrid church. The internet church wouldn't exist without the seated church, and now we can say the seated church would not exist without the internet church. We appreciate everyone who sacrifices to keep us in existence, continuing to post progressive material online every week. It is very meaningful to those of us who live here in Springfield to enjoy the physical community of the church, but also to all of you who view us online. We thank you for your support and encourage you to understand that it wasn't just a crisis that we faced back in the summer of 2015, but that it takes contributions every single week for us to keep crawling forward. Nobody's getting rich here. We don't have a custodian. We don't pay people to be secretaries. We don't even have our own telephone line. Everybody just knows my cell phone number. We operate as inexpensively as possible in order to stay in existence, and your support is very much appreciated. Our seated congregation will now make their sacrifices and offerings in support of the church as well.